It's Mary Jo, the Mary Jo Crafting and Dolls. I apologize for posting a lot of videos today, but when you actually feel good, it's the best time to do it than trying to, do it other times. But I'm doing this flip through. Jane McAdams Holstein did this book. She actually spoke with several of my cousins and my aunt. And this is the history of the Whitefish Point area, which is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And I don't have my aunt's got the signed book. I don't know whatever happened to it. She had one of the first edition. It was a hardback. But she passed. I don't know what happened to the book, but this broke down different areas here, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because it would be a long time, but I just want to point out that, like, Centennial Cranberry Farm, which is in Whitefish Point, or just north of Paradise, my great-grandpa actually helped. Was it my great or great-great? See, that's why I don't want to, go in detail, because I don't want to get inaccurate information, but he helped him do the farm. Also, too, here on the Grand Island Connection, Alexander and Jerusa? I cannot remember how to pronounce her name. But anyways, the Parquets, they're related to me. Or I'm related to them. My grandpa's mother, which was my great-grandmother, was a Parquet. Parquet. But just to show a few things. It's really interesting. I don't even think you can get a hold of this book anymore. But it's got a lot of, about the trappers. And this is really good, cool. I've seen this one. This is at, Bay Mills. Yeah, I gotta turn it this way so you can see. Sorry about that. It's got a lot of interesting stuff. Like I said, you would have to read it to really grasp it. I don't even know if the library has this. I'm trying to see. I can't look that way, I'm sorry. Trying to see if I was going to see if it showed the one with the cemetery there at the Bay Mills where they have huts over. Supposedly, my great-grandmother would not acknowledge it because from what it's been told in the family, she wouldn't acknowledge that she was Native because at that time they were taking the children away and putting them in taking them to the school. So she always passed for white. I have no proof. I did have my DNA done, and it doesn't show, but from what I was told, you get different parts of DNA, and it would have to be, in order for the DNA to actually show, it would have to have been like from my mother, and from what my mother told me, she was a quarter, so I don't know. You only go by what you're told in the family. I do know that my aunt, just before she passed away, she told us about a time when she walked in with my great-grandmother, which would have been her mother-in-law, She said there was like maybe 5 natives in her living room, dressed accordingly, I guess. They had a huge book, and she would not allow her son and daughter-in-law into the room. She said they had to leave. So that's always been a wonder, like, what was the, hush-hush. So, as my brother says, he thinks that just proves that she was a native and she was just passing for white. So, but, yeah, here's about the Centennial Farm. I don't know if it states in here about my other grandpa that came down from Canada, because they were really good friends. He was a captain, and I don't know if it's in here. I do have a article that was written a while back that does mention my grandfather, my great-grandfather helping, but I don't know. I don't see it in here. I'll have to look. I have it in my genealogy. I even had a cousin that actually lived with them and helped them on their, which I found in the census. But anywho, there's Alexander Barquet and Teresa Barquet, which I have those pictures too. And you can see where it says who it's from. That was my cousin that submitted it, the McLean family. See right here it says they homestead their own cranberry farm, but he worked with John Clark. I don't know why they said it was his own. That's probably what my cousin told them, but no, they actually worked together. So it's pretty interesting especially when you get into genealogy, because I'm related to the Parquets, the Hawkins, the Powell, the Williams. And there's the old homestead, which I actually got pictures of that myself that my cousin gave me. Of course, it's been demolished or taken over from Lake Superior. Right here it talks about my Anna Powell, which she was my great-great-great-great-grandmother, or 4th great-grandmother. And there's some more pictures of her. And then there's a letter that she sent to her daughter. It's just a little map of their area. I believe, I don't want to, like I said, don't want to say it wrong, because I always get the aunts and uncles, cousins, and all that stuff mixed up. But my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Alexander Williams, was the first settler, white settler, to live on the Grand Island. And then just talk some more about whitefish. Sorry, I keep moving it. It's mostly, there is some pictures, but there's mostly writing. I always try to look to see if I can see if my grandfather was in here. Because he also worked for the postal, and how they deliver it was through the sled dogs. I know I do have a picture of his brother in here, but not my dad, my grandpa. Okay, that's the house. I know the house are really close friends, like I say, to my aunt sisters, obviously. That's Whitefish Point. That's before they redid it. And then, let's see. That's the... See, like right here, Alex Parquet, he was a piece for 1 year. It's just kind of cool to see what you're... There, Etta Hawkins. Yeah, that's my aunt and uncle. Would be, I don't know. Like, I can't tell you how many generations back, but they were my aunt and uncles. And then also, too, in here, my aunt Anna Barquet's in here. I believe that's her right there. And then the Hawkins. They're my cousins. This is real cool. Here's another picture of my my aunt, Etta Hawkins. And that name, Flora Lemon, I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if they were, if it was related. But here, right here at Whitefish Point, I think that's kind of cool. Would have been the year 1902. It was from November 1902 to July in 1903. So that must have been the time that they went to school. And Mary Parquet's in there. Etta Hawkins. Karen Hawkins. Truman Parquet. That would have been my grandpa's brother. So I wonder why he's not in here. He must have been already passed, because I thought he must have been old. I think he was older than Truman, now that I think about it. Charles Hawkins, David Parkins, Walter Hawkins, they're all related to me. There shows you the Whitefish Point School. Now, I don't know about this. This has my William Hawkins in there. Now this fella here, they said unknown. This was given to them by my cousin on the McLean side, and that sure looks like my grandpa, but you know, I don't know. It says unknown. It's not a very good picture. And see, here we go again. There's Samuel Barquet, Alexander Barquet, Fred Hawkins. Right up here, they're related to me. Or I'm related to them, whatever. Trying to see. But like I said, it's really interesting. Now here's another school, Whitefish Point. And again, you got Sam Parquet, Flora Parquet, Norman Hawkins, and then again my Aunt Anna Parquet is in there with Annie Hawkins, so that's really cool. I haven't had this book in a while, because when I bought it, I really didn't get a chance to look at it, and my brother was interested in it, so he had it for quite a while. Okay, this is in the Vermillion School. I don't think any of them went there. This shows some of the shipwrecks. Like here, right here, the Superior City. She, in August 20th, 1920, she collided with the Willis King off the Whitefish Point. So there's quite a few there in the Whitefish Point. But, let's speed up here. Here's another picture of Whitefish Point. Okay. I'm just going to go skip ahead it, because it's probably going to be really long. But, that's not him. So, we'll just skip here. Right here, this is my Uncle Frank. Was my grandmother's brother. He served with the Coast Guard. And he actually served at Whitefish Point. He was there for like 3 years. Then after that, he went to Minnesota, and I think he was there for maybe 2 years or so, and then he switched back to Whitefish Point. And that's him again. That's him with Aunt B, and that's their only son, Larry. And my Aunt B actually made that out of an old sailor suit, and she made that up for him. And one thing I'm surprised that my grandpa was a fisherman, and I'm surprised that none of these had that. They got Hawkins, but there ain't no pictures of my grandpa. But my grandpa did. Again, this is a picture that my cousin had provided. One of the oh shit, supposedly that was the one that my grandpa would fish off of. And I think that's about it for now. Like I said, there's a lot of history in the UP. Right here is my 2 uncles, my grandpa's brothers. That is Truman, and that's Ernie. And they also worked at the Brown fishery. And their mother, which was my great-grandmother, was Anna Barkay, which she was descended from the Williams and the Powells. I think that's about it. Show some more of the cranberries. Yeah, I think that's about it for... Oh, here's another picture of my uncle. See, that's what I'm saying. They showed him where he delivered the mail, Truman. But my grandpa did also. So I'm just looking to see if maybe possibly he... There's not a lot of pictures of my grandpa's. Sadly to say, he died young. He died in the 50s. So that's why I'm always looking for... I do know that there's an awesome story. I don't think it's in here. I think it was in another... I'm just looking for it. Where a woman had wrote... I don't know if you would say it's a story or a poem about getting a ride to the school, and it was on a sled because it was during the winter time, and it was my grandpa that did it. I'll have to look for that and share that another time. Yeah, this is just on those. I hope I didn't bore you guys. I just wanted to share. I just think, I don't know. I love genealogy. That's my passion. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Bye now.